Hey guys, Chaps here, and it's time for another developer stream recap. This week it was just Dana and Tyrus, so it was a pretty generic stream. Speaking of which, I'll be having a generic stream of my own tomorrow. I'll be joined by Jess, a Shiny Ray, and Old Rosie as we discuss the past year of Gears 5 and some expectations for the future. I hope to see you all there, but in the meantime, let's check out this recap.
And I'm just going to tease, there may be an announcement coming next week about a certain channel we're going to be launching. There may be even a little giveaway. So stay tuned to your local Gears of War social channels, and we will give you more details next week, but I promise you guys are going to be excited.
So he said a new channel that they're going to be launching. He just finished talking about merchandise, so I'm kind of wondering if channel is some lingo in the merch game that I'm unaware of. When I hear channel, I think of TV or YouTube or something. I'm curious to see what this is all about.
When is Ranked Escalation coming back? Ranked Escalation is not coming back in this operation.
Good. I hate that mode, and I hope it never returns. I still don't understand why Gridiron isn't the featured esport mode. Or, hey, even do Gridiron King of the Hill split, sort of like what we had with Execution and King of the Hill in the past.
Other people are saying esports Gridiron would be great. We need some OG single life Gears action. Yeah, it is definitely goes back to the core of what people think of when they think of competitive Gears of War. So I'm a big fan of that as well. But you never know. Right now, I think we're going to have Ryan from UMG on probably another week or two to talk a little bit about what's going on with Gears Esports and other things from that standpoint. Because I know that lots of details are around that. So we can have him on and we can have him talk about what mode he would like to see inside of Gears Esports. Dana, can Jote get rid of Gears points, please? A lot of people hate it. The caps are lame. We miss the old scoreboard that actually separates the best from the rest. That is an interesting question. So Gears points are obviously reflective of are connected to a rank standpoint. So that is something that's there. It's going to stick like this through the operation because we're not going to change the rank season in the middle of the rank season.
Basically, you can't uncap it because that would break the system. I really don't think Gears points are in a terrible spot, but I do feel that the MVP stat and what is shown on the scoreboard could use some work. Like, let's keep Gears points the way they are now, or do whatever minor adjustments you need in the background, but bring the classic score back to the foreground, and most importantly, use classic score as the basis for MVP. It's kinda crazy how much people actually care about that MVP spot, though.
Why does the nasher feel inconsistent post-update? Well, the nasher feels inconsistent post-update because we turned off things like magnetism. We have added the skill back into the game in a way that you guys have been asking for. Now you have to work harder to land your shots. Those shots that you were thinking you were hitting every time before, if you're missing just a little bit wide, you're going to miss wide now.
I've seen a lot of people saying it feels inconsistent, which is kind of funny being the whole point of the change was to make it more consistent. The fact that they turned off parts of the magnetism makes it so that you as a player need to be more accurate. It's not that the gun is less consistent now, it's that the gun is less forgiving. There's a difference.
Has anything been done to crossplay? No, we haven't done anything to crossplay. Are there plans to change the map's voting system? I think a random map option instead of the third map would be better. The game could be, you said funnier, I'm assuming you mean funner. That's actually not a bad idea, like a random.
That's the system that Halo 3 had, and I thought it worked quite well. I don't have too much of an issue with the current system, though. I could see this going either way.
Why aren't there bots in the quick match single life playlist? A couple of things. We've heard from you guys that a lot of you don't want, like when you're competing, you want to go and actually have someone playing against people versus against bots. We are looking at having it autofill to back in, so just to keep the numbers balanced. But the issue is right now by turning that on, it just autofills. So if there's like one person in the lobby, you can start a match with basically one with nine AI, and we don't want that to happen. So that's kind of where we are with that.
Backfilling to balance would be nice, but as it stands right now with no backfilling, it's pretty annoying. Like, I get that in TDM you don't want them wasting your spawns, and sometimes in Dodgeball it will give the other team a free spawn. But in Gridiron and Execution, I'd much prefer to see them add bots back in.
Any updates you can give regarding the spawn swapping in Guardian? I believe we've identified what that issue is, and I think it actually might be in the next title update.
Good. I really want to play this mode, and the main thing that's holding me back right now is this stupid spawn swapping issue.
Can we get a breakdown of current PvP tuning, values each time you update the game? It's very hard to keep track because they're only posted as they're changed. On the Trello, we actually have a history of all of our patch notes. So that there would be inside of there. I can look at doing something with Jim Bob. I'd have to find a place where we could make it live so that it doesn't, people aren't quoting things that are out of date. Maybe the Trello supports with that. Let me take that away. Let's think about that as a potential thing.
If they actually do this, which I believe they should, I know quite a few PvE people will be upset by it. They specifically said that they weren't doing this for PvE due to the fact that things change over time and they don't want people having the wrong info. If they do it for PvP, I don't see why they can't do it for PvE. Other games do it, and it goes over well most of the time. I would love to see them make this change.
When will the matchmaking switch back to being +1, -1 instead of 2? That's a good question. So right now, what ends up happening is everybody's, in this operation, for future operations, the intention is to have people like not do a full reset back to bronze. But if you were like a diamond player, maybe you reset to gold. The specifics haven't been told to me if they have been worked out. So there's that part. But right now, because everybody was at bronze, they're all kind of, some people are running out ahead depending how often they play. So we've got like some masters, and then like as you move back closer to bronze, the player population goes like this. So we've opened it up a little bit just to make sure, just to help us accelerate, to open up the window so people can match make easier. So you've always got that as you're moving through that. We feel like in fairly quick time that player population distributes kind of to their natural equilibrium, and at that point we'll look at about which one is the best one to make that happen. So that's where we are. Have you guys considered giving points for round victories? We have talked about that. So I don't know where that's at, but that is something that we've talked about.
I think this is a necessary change. It just isn't right that a 13-0 in Gridiron and a 13-12 both give 0 points to the losing team.
What about the lore live stream? The funny thing about the lore live streams is, and we'll bring them on again, and I'll bring maybe Matt, Circe, and Bonnie back on. And whenever we do a lore live stream, you guys get super excited, like, oh my God, a lore live stream. And then all of the questions are only about, tell us things that we don't know. And then we go negative space, negative space, negative space, negative space. And then you guys get frustrated because we're not telling you some of those details. So we have to find a way to kind of go and do a lore stream that is compelling, that is interesting, that satisfies what you guys are looking for, but doesn't kind of inhibit us.
I honestly think the best way to handle this is simply not to have a lore stream. That's not to say that lore shouldn't be discussed though. There's plenty of people interested in the lore. I just don't think that a stream is necessarily the right environment when you're not able to disclose too much. I would much rather see TC put out the occasional video discussing the lore. Maybe some questions come up, so you get a few lore masters to record a short video to answer the questions and provide some cool details.
The abilities of various characters in Arcade don't seem to align well with the lore background of the characters itself. Now that we have a sizable roster, is there any chance of reshuffling the classes? For example, why is Strock a sniper? Why doesn't the Theron have a torque, etc.? I think the simple answer probably to that is we're not as heavily working on Arcade anymore. And then for us to go and do a bit of a pass on that, even though it might not be a ton of work, it's still work. And work that we would do on that is just prevents us from doing work on other stuff. And right now, we have higher priorities than what's going on ranked. It does make sense. I don't have a better answer for that. I don't know the decision-making process for SRAC as an example. It could also just be they're balancing it out. This one class didn't have that, so we just kind of moving it around. I honestly don't know. The story used to update more frequently. The frequency was reduced to weekly due to people complaining about missing a chance to get items. Now that the store items go into the operations section, when they wrote out, missing stuff is an issue. Any chance of increasing the store refresh frequency? Probably not. I mean, we have like there's a finite amount of items that we can produce. So if we wanted to increase the frequency by which we updated the store, we would just actually reduce what was in the store. Vex, he stops by to ask about the TC program. I was actually doing the TCA program today. I'm going to the admin tool is broken, that I need to go back and look at some of the people for who have applied. And we're going to update the website with the requirements. So it's going to be based on hours streamed, hours watched for Twitch, and then subscribers on YouTube and daily views. So it's going to be a combination of that. So those are what you're going to see is the balance of what is going to be a requirement for being a partner. I want to go and look at a bunch of people to kind of go and figure out what is the right number to pick around that. I'm thinking around probably 3,000 to 4,000 hours viewed a month for YouTube, with like maybe minimum 20,000 subscribers. And then on Twitch, it's going to be something along the lines of X number of hours streamed, like let's say 100 hours streamed a month. I'm just guessing at this point. And then, hours viewed will be, maybe it's 3,000 hours viewed a month, something like that. I'm not sure. So, that's kind of what we're looking for in terms of what would be a requirement for the partner. So that's going to be updated soon. And once we do that, TC Sarah is actively going and cleaning up the asset folder as we speak. So hopefully within the next week or two, we'll be able to go and have a refresh for the TCA program in general. So stay tuned.
I think a mid-tier would be helpful for the TCA program. Obviously, there's the partners who get a bunch of perks, and then there's everyone else. But if the program really wanted to help people grow, they should look at having a middle tier that rewards a few smaller perks that could help grow potential partners. Like, you start and you're all on your own, with maybe some help from the assets folder. Then if you're big enough, TC may want to throw you a bone or two with some exclusives or features or something like that. This could be the thing that helps grow those middle-sized channels up to get more exposure. Then if they keep up the hard work, they can become a full partner with all of the perks. I don't know, that's just something that I've always thought would be cool.
Why do some daily objectives not update mid-match? This was talked about before. Because I think this you have to kind of, at the end of the match is when it updates. Oh, I had the answer for this one, I've totally forgot. I'll make a note of this and I'll answer it next week. Okay. Some daily objectives have an all modes variant and a PvP only variant. In some cases, the PvP only requires one more and gives less stars. Why is this? Where was this question last week when Andy was on? That one I actually can't answer. He balances all of that.
Well, I can answer Dana's question. Where was it last week? Well, it was on the list of questions on Reddit. Same place he's reading them from now. It sucks that it got skipped last week.
Are you doing something about macro cheaters on PC? Oh, I saw this yesterday. I don't have an answer for that because I'm not a PC player, so I will pass that along. I don't know if what the intention is to do with macros. You guys had mentioned doing Gears Coins giveaway on these dev streams. I actually have to go and look into that. I talked about it as an idea, and I need to talk to Andy about that because obviously it has impact on economy, what we would do. But I think it'd be fun. Obviously. If we want to do, we'd have to go back to watching on live.gearsofwar.com because we don't have Twitch drops enabled. So there's some things inside of that, but potentially, yeah. Oh, Toby asked about the CM position. It's ongoing. We were close with someone. Unfortunately, that fell through. Still looking at a few other candidates. So, I don't think there's anybody in the world that wants to have that position filled more than me. So it is something that the team is working on. So, yeah.
And, well, that does it for this week's recap. Don't forget to tune into the stream tomorrow. I've reached out to the community for volunteers to be on the show, and I'm going to try something new. So if you'd like to be on, or if you know someone who should be on, be sure to let me know, and I'll get those names added to the list. As usual, if you enjoyed this, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. I'll see you all next time, and thanks for watching.